My husband, 30, and I, 27 female, have been together for 3 years and married for 5 months. Our relationship has been problem-free until the week before our wedding. My husband was very close friends with a woman, let's call her Ava, that he's known since they were sophomores in high school. I never had a problem with Ava. I thought it was obvious that she and my husband were just friends. I mean, she had a long-term boyfriend and all, so I felt no jealousy or anything. I got along with Ava pretty well. We all hung out together regularly, but then my husband dropped a bombshell on me the week before we married. I remembered he sat me down and told me that Ava revealed to him that she had feelings for him and tried to convince him not to get married to me. She even broke up with her boyfriend of 6 years to prove that she was serious about my husband. My husband and I both agreed to cut her off. We uninvited her to our wedding, and neither of us have been in contact with her since. It was my husband's 30th birthday yesterday. He just wanted to have dinner with family and friends, so we did that. So we're all in a restaurant eating when all of a sudden, Ava walks in. She walks to our table and says she didn't mean to intrude, that she was getting dinner by herself and then saw us. She then wishes my husband a happy birthday. I expected her to leave, but then my husband asked her if she wanted to join us. I look at my husband like, what the heck are you doing? I'm visibly uncomfortable and irritated. I stand up and tell Ava that she can have my seat, and then I walk out and get an Uber home because I want absolutely nothing to do with her. When my husband came home almost 2 hours later, he immediately started arguing with me. He tells me I overreacted and acted immaturely. I asked him why he asked Ava to eat with us, because I thought we were on the same page. He replies that he was just being nice, and he didn't think it would be a big deal because it's been a long time since he's seen her, so she probably doesn't have feelings for him anymore. And then he tells me that I ruined his birthday. I'm still upset about it all. I don't think I'm the one in the wrong. I mean, this woman tried to steal my partner. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. What a coincidence that Ava happens to go to the same restaurant. I don't get your husband's logic here. So he disinvited her to his wedding, but offered her to sit down and have dinner when she wasn't invited? There's something off here. You said it was a family dinner? If your husband didn't tip her off, one of his family members did. If Ava does come back into your lives, it must be on your terms as well as his. He doesn't get to decide this one unilaterally. I would remind your husband that this is a boundary you set, and he needs to understand that choosing you doesn't end at the wedding. Well, he's obviously cheating with her, so I guess he had to tell her where the birthday dinner's happening, or he's been in touch with BFF since the wedding. She's convinced him that she doesn't have feelings for him anymore and told him that she should just show up at the restaurant to make it look like it just happened like magic. In any case, I think OP's marriage will not last. I want to give your hubby the benefit of the doubt and say he's just dumb to invite a woman that tried to talk him out of marrying you to sit at your table. Maybe he felt pressured because family and friends that knew her but might not know why she had been uninvited to the wedding were present. However, he didn't stop you from walking out. He didn't try to go after you. He didn't call or text to check on you. He stayed out for 2 freaking hours, and then he has the sheer audacity to come home and yell at you for your behavior? It's been 5 months, not 5 years since the wedding. Your husband is delusional if he thinks she's genuinely gotten over him and his behavior was appropriate. Husband might be dense, but it's more concerning that he didn't check in with you. You might want to reconsider your marriage. His relationship with that other woman is still suspect. How he treated you was outright disrespectful at the table and completely uncaring afterward, followed by a huge scoop of gaslighting you when he got home. None of this is healthy. I've 25 female, been best friends with Lisa, 25 female, since I was a little kid. We met in kindergarten and the rest is history. When we were 18, Lisa began dating my older brother, James, 27 male. I'll admit when it happened, I was not happy. My brother's never been good to women, and I was worried about my friend. I also admit I was childish and didn't want to share her. However, Lisa gave me an ultimatum of accepting this or losing her anyway, so I accepted. For a while, it seemed really great, They dated all throughout Lisa and my college years. They were sweet and talking about marriage. Then out of the blue, James dumped Lisa. He didn't explain. A few months later, he brought Allison, 27 female, around. I can't prove there was overlap, but based on the way they celebrate anniversaries, it couldn't have been more than a week gap. Allison instantly began causing problems. As I said, I've known Lisa since I was a kid, and ever since her parents died, she spent all major holidays with us. Allison thought that this was unacceptable and disrespectful. My brother sided with her and threatened to stop attending. In response, I threatened to celebrate with Lisa alone. My brother folded, but this has been a constant argument. Now the recent problem. Lisa's getting married. I'm really excited and have been really busy as the maid of honor. Of course, our whole family plans to attend and have been talking about it a ton. Well, Allison has recently announced that she's pregnant. My parents are delighted and very excited, though still very busy with Lisa's wedding. However, they've tried to help in any way possible. Unfortunately, Allison called them unsupportive, and to prove it, went about doing a test. She's setting her baby shower on the same day as the wedding and making it clear anyone who can't attend the baby shower isn't allowed to see her child. My parents are devastated. They play huge roles in Lisa's wedding, but of course they want a relationship with their grandchild. I refused to attend the baby shower, and I told my parents if they chose to go, I won't speak to them again. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She specifically chose a date she knew would cause issues. You need to talk to your brother about it and see if he can smooth the way to not causing drama within the family. He's knowingly allowing this to unfold and cause issues between your family, and that makes him guilty in it as well. Allison seems like a bad and insecure person. Why should you not prioritize someone who's acted almost like a sister for most of your life? Weddings are a once-in-a-lifetime thing and cannot be moved. On the other hand, the baby shower can very easily be moved to another day. However, don't get your parents into this. That's their grandchild after all, and they should care. Agree, you'll be the idiot if you give an ultimatum to your parents. They already have one painful person causing them stress, and they don't need more of it. Missing out on a grandkid cannot be an easy decision. This chick is trying to emotionally manipulate you guys and control you to do whatever she wants to do. It's not going to stop there. Enjoy the wedding. Ignore Allison and your brother if needed. The real idiot is your brother for allowing his child to be used for this blackmail, and obviously Allison. My friend has informed me that my wife seems to have a lot of body confidence occasionally. She posts many photos on Instagram in dresses, crop tops, and now that it's summer, swimsuits. I've never had a problem with it. I think most girls in their mid-20s do the same thing. But my friend has been making weird remarks to me about her post since we got married. He says her posts are too provocative for a married woman and that she's putting herself online like a single woman. He also points out that most married women do not post photos as she does, and his wife would never disrespect him by posting photos like this. I brought it up to my wife once, and she just laughed and said he was weird. So I agreed and haven't said anything about it to her since. Recently, a group of us got together at the lake. My wife wore what I considered normal attire, a bikini, but my friend thought differently. He commented in front of us guys about her butt being out and asked me if she just liked to make everyone uncomfortable and have people stare at her. And of course, he brought it back around to his wife, saying how she dresses respectfully in front of other guys. I think his wife had a one-piece bathing suit on, but wore a cover-up most of the time we were there. My wife wasn't wearing a thong bathing suit bottom, so I honestly don't know what his deal was. There were other girls there in two pieces besides her. I had honestly had enough of his incessant comments about my wife and how he was continually comparing her to his more conservatively dressed wife. So I said, "Your wife dresses like that because she can't pull off a swimsuit. Stop fixating on my wife, bro. It's getting old fast." I know his wife hadn't caused anything and probably didn't deserve that, but it got him to shut up. We actually haven't talked since then, to which I don't really care. We'll probably run into each other the next time we have a friend throw an outing though. I do feel like his wife didn't deserve that, even if she didn't know I said it. So I'm wondering if I'm an idiot. I don't really want to apologize to him before he apologizes for all of his comments. Edit. His wife was not around when I said this. It was just a group of guys. Everyone's the idiot here. Well, the husbands are. You should have stood up for your wife and not insulted his. Also, I find it comically naive how OP doesn't get why this guy only singled out his wife, even though other women were also in two pieces. Newsflash, dude, your friend is hot for your wife and blaming that fact on her. Exactly. Instead of OP telling off this guy for stalking his wife's social media pages, obsessing over her in public, and constantly judging her appearance, he instead jabs at his innocent wife? That's a crap move. Instead, I would have called out this sexist crap for gawking at OP's wife every chance he gets. Stop objectifying women's bodies. You are all freaking idiots. He started, but you just had to go there with him. His behavior was the problem. Why not concentrate on the problem rather than drag innocent bystanders into the fray? You were not the idiot until you had to treat a human being as an object to be hurled at your opponent like a rock. Now you're both idiots, and the problem is still not solved. I, female 25, have been with my husband, 27, for 5 years, and we've been married for 1 year. We discussed early on that neither of us desires to have children and have been on that same page the entire time we've been together. Today we went to see his family to celebrate birthdays. We were chatting with his parents, brother, and uncle. That's all of his family. And we got on the topic of children. As we were talking about the fact that we would not be having children, something we've made clear in the past, my husband suddenly said, "You never know, we might have a baby. We could change our minds." I just looked at him and said that if he wanted to have a baby, he needed to figure out how to give birth to it himself. I can admit this was a little harsh. However, his mom could tell we were both irritated, so she pulled me aside later to say that they don't expect us to have children and they support that decision. My husband was irritated with this response. I think he was embarrassed that I said this in front of his dad. Later, he said that I was rude, and even though he never wants children, that he doesn't want to make it seem like such a sure thing because he and his brother are the ends of the family. His brother's single, but has expressed to my husband and me that he does not plan to have children either. I reacted like this because in my job, I work with a lot of older people, and I'm told at least weekly that I'll probably change my mind as I mature and decide I want to have children. This is really frustrating, and I tell my husband every time it happens. It was also shocking to hear my partner say something that contradicts what we've agreed on for the past 5 years. I don't necessarily think he was an idiot for making that comment with his family, but I felt undermined. As soon as we got home, we started fighting about this, and he thinks I should have just gone along with it, since it's his family and not mine, rather than standing my ground on something I feel very strongly about. So, am I the idiot for responding to him like that and embarrassing him in front of his dad? Not the idiot. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like you're on the same page, no matter what he said after the fight was over. You never know, and we could change our minds, are things that fence sitters say. Him saying both of these things in front of his family is undercutting you and putting you on notice. If his parents aren't putting any pressure on the two of you to have kids, he has no reason to lie about it unless he actually has changed his mind, which is something he should talk about with you privately because you had both previously agreed to not having any kids. It's very telling that mother-in-law is the one who told OP she doesn't have to have children, while brother-in-law and father-in-law were insisting on it too. Hubby needs to grow a spine regarding his family and take back the go along with it comment. Encouraging now will make it worse when you're in your 30s and haven't had kids yet. OP, your husband basically stabbed you in the back in this conversation. As a child-free person myself, I would be livid if my partner dropped this crap in front of his parents. It's a typical play stupid game situation. He should have kept his mouth shut if he didn't want you to respond. Also, he's wrong. He's your husband. This isn't only his family, it's yours too now. That's how marriages usually work. My wife's making this a bigger deal than it needs to be. My wife, 48, and I, 48, married when we were 22, and had 5 kids, male and female 25, female 22, male 19. The 5th, toddler female one, was a surprise. Our other children are adults. For the majority of their lives, I was the stay-at-home parent. I cooked, cleaned, attended games, etc. From the moment they came home from the hospital, all up until their mid-teens, where I deemed them old enough to stay home by themselves. As usual, I quit my job and had been watching her at home, but 8 months ago, my wife came to me and said she'd like to quit her job and watch our daughter. I was skeptical because she had never done it before, but she's her mother, and I assumed she could handle it as I did. Well, she hasn't been handling it well at all. Whenever I come home from work, the bathroom is a mess. There's no dinner cooked. Our daughter's a mess, and my wife is just watching TV. Then after I tidy up the house, cook dinner, which I don't mind, I've been doing it for 25 plus years, and get ready for bed, she complains about being a stay-at-home mom is hard. Personally, I think she's lazy, and I voice my thoughts. She tried to tell me it was different, but I told her it was not. I could watch the twins with little to no difficulty up until they were 14. I watched our 3rd and 4th child with no hassle either. I had the house cleaned, the food ready, the kids clean, homework done, went to their games, school meetings, etc. I never asked for help and sucked it up because I was a dad. For her to have so much trouble watching a toddler is ridiculous. She's been silent with me since that conversation, but when I came home from work, the house was actually clean, food was cooked, and our daughter was clean. I'm starting to feel like the idiot because maybe it's different for women, but how can raising children be so difficult and different for us? I'm only going not the idiot here because unlike most stories I see like this, you've actually been a stay-at-home parent, so you know what it entails and have been able to do it. It sounds like you made it look easy, so she thought she wouldn't have to do much work at all. Yeah, look, he's extremely competent in this area. I would struggle with 1 child, let alone 4. That being said, it's not a competition. It's a team sport. And also, pregnancy messes up your body. I can't imagine what pregnancy at 45 must be like. Still, it has been several years. It sounds like she wanted an early retirement to me and was disappointed when she learned being a stay-at-home parent is work. Yes, or maybe she thought that she'd never get the chance to stay at home with the kids, and now that they're old too. It's unfortunate, but as you get older, things do get harder. You can't compare being a parent at 20-something to be the same when you're at 50. Get her checked for PPD, because who knows if she specifically asked not to go back to work because she's depressed. It's a tough job, especially when you don't have the energy anymore. Update. We argued back and forth for a while, with her saying that she still needs time to adjust. I'm shaming her, it's different from others. I brought up hiring help and she quickly shot this down, becoming irritated that I suggested she needed help taking care of her home and her child. I apologized for calling her lazy, but then she broke down crying. My wife admits that being a stay-at-home mom was something she didn't think she'd be good at, but she desperately wanted to be here to raise our daughter because she wasn't there for our other kids. She said that when I was raising the children, I made it seem so easy because everything was neat and the children were happy and orderly. I asked her if she was possibly going through depression, but she assured me she was not. But we decided we should attend couples therapy and some individual therapy for her. I asked if she enjoyed being with our daughter at home, and she admitted that being able to spend all this time with her was refreshing and possibly the happiest she's ever been. She promised that she'd do her part and keep the house tidy. I'm glad we were able to get this out in the open.